Hello YouTube, Dave here again, just back with another quick pickups video. So I've added a few more things to my collection over the last couple of weeks, and I just thought I'd show them off and talk about them briefly. The first two things actually, because they are both related, I picked up a couple books in the Dungeons & Dragons Endless Quest series. So that's the Choose Your Own Adventure books that just came out a few days ago actually. I think it was just earlier, or maybe last week. They haven't been out for very long anyway. So these are aimed at younger readers, but I still think that they're an interesting concept, and I'm considering actually picking up a couple extra copies for like my daughter and nephew. So I picked up two of them today. The first one that I picked up is the Endless Quest Escape the Underdark. So this is the fighter storyline. Right now they have one for fighter, wizard, cleric, and rogue. So sort of hitting the main archetypes. So this one here just says, it's a fighter campaign. You awaken in an underground cell, stripped of your armor and your sword. Your fellow prisoners inform you that you're trapped in the Underdark, soon to be taken to the great Drow city of Menzo Brenzen and sold off as a slave. But word is that demons are stirring in the Underdark's depths, and maybe you can use that to break free. Prisoner of the Drow. So this is a take on the Rage of Demons storyline. Now, because it involves things like slavery and demons and things like that, I would recommend this one for, it says ages 8 to 12. I would aim for probably closer to, age 12 rather than age 8. But what I really like about these is that there's a lot of really nice artwork in the book. Now, most of it's recycled, and that's fine. But again, there's just a lot of really nice stuff in here. Just some really cool artwork. Nice locations, things that you could use as visual aids if you're running the actual RPG. So there's some great locations, like you got Dark Lake there, you got Ront, the Orc, you got the gelatinous cube, because you gotta have a gelatinous cube, Myconids. Oh, there we go. And there's a Spectator Beholder, so I'm sold based on that alone. It's got a beholder. I'm immediately interested. So yeah, I like these quite a bit. I haven't really read it too much yet, but I mean, there's a really nice artwork there in Grackelstuck. I think that's the name of it. The Durgar city, anyway. So yeah, just some really cool artwork in here. And so these are things that I really want to see succeed. I would, like I said, I want to get one for my nephew. And definitely want to get one actually for my daughter as well, because she's expressed a bit of an interest in learning Dungeons & Dragons. She's still a little bit too young for her to really start at this point. But I can get her one of these. This is the other one that I got. And this is the one that I'd probably end up getting for her, actually. So this is Endless Quest Big Trouble, and this is the Wizard storyline. The description of this one makes it sound like it's probably aimed at closer to the ages 8, 9, or 10. But this follows the Storm King Sunder story. So it says, when evil giants attack your home in Ardeep Forest, your parents think you're dead and go searching for your missing little brother. You wake up and set out after them, helped by a giant wizard who lives in a flying tower. You don't know where your family has gone, but you know that if you don't find them, you're all in big trouble. So, yeah, this one sounds a little more aimed at the younger side of that 8 to 12 scale. But the fact of the matter is, again, that there's really nice art in here, which I think is absolutely fantastic. And just, Green Dragon, like I said, it's recycled. A lot of the art is recycled from other places, but, I haven't looked through this yet, actually. This is for my first time flipping through this one. So it's actually got a map on a grid. I don't know how well the squares are going to show up on the camera. But it's actually got a map with a grid. This is probably a map taken from one of the adventures, or from the adventure book itself. But it's still really cool to actually have a map in there. So, yeah, who knows? If she likes it, then maybe I can use that map and make an adventure based off of it. Anyway, so that's essentially those books there. Like I said, I highly recommend these for anyone that has some younger children that you want to sort of at least encourage them to get interested in something like Dungeons & Dragons. I think that these are really cool. I would love to see some future ones put out that are maybe aimed at an older audience, but at the same time, you know, these choose your own adventure books, I remember they were a big part of my childhood. I had quite a few of them, and I used to love reading them when I was younger. So it's really cool that, you know, we've got something like that again, and the fact that it's actually licensed by Wizards of the Coast and an official, you know, Dungeons and Dragons product is something that can really help younger generations maybe develop an interest in the game. So, absolutely think that these are great. I'm looking forward to getting the other two in the collection in the series as well. And I'll read through them. I'm not going to lie. I'm going to read through them and see how poorly I make choices in the game. Or in the book, I should say. But yeah, so that's those. The other thing that I got, and I really wasn't expecting to be getting this so soon, but I placed another order off of DM's Guild. And I was able to use the sales revenue for my affiliate link in order to not only pay for the product, but to ship it out, and I still have some left over actually, so I just want to take a quick moment to thank anyone who's ever clicked on that link and then later ordered something. It really, really helps. I'm saving up. I don't really know quite yet what I want to get for the next purchase off of that. I guess I'm still waiting to see sort of what other releases come out. But what I ended up getting was something that caught my eye for a while, and no pun intended when I say caught my eye, and you'll see why in a second. So the item that I ordered was Dead in the Eye. So this was the free RPG Day adventure for Dungeons & Dragons from 2012. This does use D&D 4th edition rules, but that's something that I think it can be converted relatively easy. I don't think it would be that difficult to really kind of convert it over, or even just be fun to run it even just as a 4th edition game. So this is a quick sort of one-shot adventure. It's very, very, basic premise. There was an evil beholder by the name of Omaranthax attacked a nearby village where this this adventure takes place. And the player characters are hired by an order known as the Black Arrows, which are dedicated to wiping out aberrations and anything from the far realm, and just prevent their influence from spreading. They tracked Omaranthax to a network of caves, and they have him trapped inside, but they're just not in the condition to go in after him. So they've suffered heavy losses, pretty serious injuries, and so the player characters end up entering the caves in search of this beholder. There's about 4 or 5 different encounters, but each of the encounters has sort of something going for it. So the very first encounter has like a terrain hazard, which is called fire mushroom patches, and they're mushrooms that if you step on them, they kind of release like a thing of spores, and and they have multiple effects, so they can be good or bad actually. So some of them are one of them is good, I guess I should say. Because one, you can actually gain temporary hit points, but then there's other things where you're blinded until the end of your next turn. You take ongoing poison damage unless you make successful saves. So really just sort of a neat idea, and it's a way that sort of has the terrain factor into the encounter. So stuff like that I'm always kind of interested in. In addition to the Beholder, there's a bunch of creatures known as foul spawns. So they have like wretches, which are little minion creatures, berserkers, which are big stompy creatures, and a few other types of stuff like that. The second sort of encounter area has it's a maze sort of thing. So it's a series of identical caverns, but the characters or the players have to choose the proper path to go through. However, there is a bit of a twist, even if they get all the right paths the very first time they go through. So again, sort of an interesting idea there. You can fight a roper, which is a monster that I really like as well. And then you have the encounter with Omaranthax himself. And what's cool about Omaranthax is he's actually trying to essentially transform himself using these arcane rituals, as well as taking advantage of, because this is during the 4th edition era, take advantage of the spell plague and the spell scars and the warped lands and stuff like that. So this is actually what he looks like. So you can see he's got spell scars on his body that pulsate with arcane energy. You kind of see one flaring up there. When he completed the ritual originally, it actually started the mutation process. So all of the eyes and his eye stalks kind of ruptured. and the eyes were replaced with just these toothy maws. Now they still actually shoot magical rays, but the ray attacks, a lot of them are actually different, which I think is kind of cool. One of them he literally just uses to hit you with, which is also kind of cool. His central eye, I think that one also kind of burst and was replaced with a smaller mouth. But his actual mouth, where his actual mouth was, it developed its own like brand new eye that kind of grew in the middle of that toothy maw. So it's a really interesting idea, kind of take on the beholder. What's also interesting in this encounter is partway through, the player characters actually have to make a choice. So when Amaranthax becomes bloodied, so when he gets reduced below half his hit points, he actually fires his magical rays at the ceiling, and it starts to cause the cavern to start collapsing. So the characters kind of have to decide if they want to continue to fight the beholder, if they want to kill him, or if they need to essentially escape to save themselves. And that's a very basic rundown. I haven't been able to read it all the way through yet, but I really think it's just a cool concept, a cool adventure. The only thing missing from it, I would say, is that because this was a free RPG Day thing, it didn't actually come with a map. So the map pieces as well that are given don't line up neatly. So it's not like you could just copy them, kind of cut them out, or stitch them all together. You can do that, but you have to fill in some of the blanks, essentially. Not that that's necessarily a bad thing. Like I said, it's pretty straightforward, and the encounter areas are sort of the main focus anyway. So if you wanted to expand it into a larger adventure, you potentially could. But I still think it's a really neat idea, and I mean, it's Beholder, so it's my favorite monster. So once I saw it, I knew I had to pick it up. So anyway, that's it for this video. So just a few things that I added to my collection. So with this, actually, the last thing I want to say about this before I forget, I said earlier I wasn't expecting to receive it yet. So right now, Canadian products are still being shipped from the United Kingdom. Unfortunately, it's been a slower process to get that switch to printing inside of North America. But I'll be honest, it doesn't really seem to have been that big of a deal since the issue that I had with my Rule Cyclopedia. So I think they must have fixed something. The last couple of items that I ordered, I got within 2 weeks actually, which normally was about 3 to 4 weeks. This here was printed off and shipped out 5 business days ago. Well, 6 now, but I got this yesterday. So 5 business days is all it took to get from the United Kingdom here to Halifax, Nova Scotia, and actually delivered. So if they keep up delivery schedules, and I did not get the fancy delivery because that was like $30. I just paid for the standard shipping. And to get it this soon, now I'm not going to set my expectations that everything will be within that period of time, but it still really blew me away that I got it this early. And like I said, the last couple of things were only about 2 weeks instead of 3 to 4 or even 5 weeks, like some things had taken. So really impressed. And I will say that DM's Guild and Drive-Thru RPG have sort of stepped up after some of the issues that they had earlier in the year. So can't say anything but positive about the product and the services, and the turnarounds for deliveries have been getting better and better. Again, don't expect if you live in Canada to be able to get everything within 5 business days, but I'm really glad that it worked out this way. So anyway, thank you guys very much for watching, and if you have any of these, let me know what you think about them in the comments below. If you played the adventure, for example, I'd love to know how that went for you guys. And as far as the Choose Your Own Adventure books go, if you've picked up any of those as well, let me know, or what your thoughts are on these. I think they're really cool, and I want to see more stuff like this come out. So anyway, thank you guys again for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video, and we will see you next time. Take care.